Hello everybody, this is the 7th episode of Ike's Political Minute, and today I will be assessing the general partisanship of each of the 50 states in the United States of America going into the 2020 presidential election, and I will be introducing the new toss-up states and the states that will be graduating from this title, such as Colorado and Ohio, as well as the states that are becoming more or less purple, but are not necessarily there yet, like Minnesota and Georgia. And with that said, I will begin. So, the state of Maine, I think that the Maine 1st Congressional District with Portland and Augusta, that is still fairly Democratic. I would definitely put that in the Democratic column, likely for them. And the Maine at-large districts, that has really swung towards the Republicans, especially Donald Trump. I think that would say a toss-up, and with that same argument, except in a more conservative area, I think that its 2nd congressional districts right now would lean Republican. New Hampshire, I really do think is a toss-up. I think that places like New Hampshire really did become more competitive with Donald Trump, even though they went blue by like 5 points with Mitt Romney on the ticket. Mitt freaking Romney, the former governor of Massachusetts who was supposed to do well there and won the New Hampshire primary. Oh man, some people win in places you don't expect, or lose. Now, the rest of New England, I would put in the Democratic column. Places like Connecticut and Rhode Island definitely could become more purple in the future, even by like 2032, but as of now, I do think that they would still be solidly Democratic. Now, the Rust Belt, I do think that, like I said before, Minnesota and Georgia, both of these states are definitely becoming more purple and more advantageous for the opposition party to win. However, still, neither of these states are quite there. The party that controls there is still evidently quite strong in both of these places, which is why I would put them lean in the column of the party that controls them at this point in time. Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania, all of these states I would leave as toss-ups. I think that these have become true purple states. I think that this is especially true in Wisconsin. I mean, if you look at the gubernatorial race, Tony Evers lost in traditional Democratic areas. I mean, Buffalo County, Trempealeau, I don't even know how to pronounce that, and Jackson County, all of these were Democratic areas. I mean, Barack Obama won them by a significant margin. And then Winnebago County and Brown County. Now, Brown County, this is supposed to be a rock and sock and robots area where you kind of fight it out and then one person wins. That is not what happened with Scott Walker. So this state is definitely purple, and the only reason that Tony Evers won was because of these 3 northern counties where he ran up the margin. Michigan, John James did well, showing that a strong candidate can make the state purple as it was, even though there is a strong wave here, and I understand that this is the gubernatorial race, but I think we all know about the Senate race and how that became competitive. Pennsylvania, people like Patrick Toomey have shown that they can make it competitive, although people like Tom Wolf can keep it strongly Democratic. And now I do think that 2 states that have graduated from being toss-ups are Iowa and Ohio. I do think that both of these states are now lean Republican states. I mean, also if you look at the governor races, Ohio was expected to go to the Democrats by 6 points in the latest poll. I mean, Real Clear Politics showed that for Richard Cordray. And then Mike DeWine won it by 4 points. He won Ashtabula County, kept it close in Trumbull County, and he won Dayton. Dayton was originally the Democratic stronghold. I mean, John Kerry won it even though he lost in Cincinnati. Oh man, partisanship has changed. And Iowa! Fred Hubbell was also expected to win in Iowa with the polling data. But nope, Kim Reynolds won it by 3 percentage points. I do think that Iowa would now be a lean Republican state. And Illinois, very solidly Democratic, and Indiana and Missouri, I think that these 2 states are very alike in how they vote, and in both cases, as we saw in the Senate elections, Missouri, Josh Hawley won by 6 points, and around by the same margin Mike Braun won. And both of these states were originally lean Republican states. And in good Democratic years, Democrats would win these states. So this is a sign that the Democrats really aren't able to win in these states anymore, or not by the margins they used to. Kentucky and West Virginia, strongly Republican. I would keep those in the GOP column. Virginia, I would make Virginia a likely state for the Democrats. Despite what others may think, I think that Northern Virginia has taken a very heavy swing towards the Democratic Party, and we are able to see this in Virginia. I mean, Virginia Beach, that used to be a Republican stronghold. Donald Trump won it even, and then it goes Democrat by over 10 percentage points? Yeah, and then Prince Williams County, that used to be a swing area that George W. Bush won handily. Yeah, I really do not see in any way how the GOP is going to make this a toss-up state. I think that Virginia, at this point in time, is likely or even safe Democrat. North Carolina, I would leave that as a toss-up state. They've got a Democratic governor. Democrats won the House popular vote in North Carolina. But the Republicans also do have 2 Republican senators from that state. I think that North Carolina has and will be purple. Florida is kind of the eternal swing state. I mean, it's this combination between exciting your base and really winning over centrists, and it seems like Bill Nelson and Andrew Gillum both failed at exciting their base enough by not carrying Miami-Dade County by big enough margins that they should have. And with the retirees and the urban cities growing, it seems like it will really stay 50-50 for the far future. The Bible Belt? Now that is the Republicans' place to shine. I do think that this area is staying strongly Republican, and it will be for the distant future. I think that all of these states are very safe for the Republican Party. Texas, I do think, would be a likely Republican state and no longer a safe Republican state. And again, look at the Senate election in Texas. Okay, Ted Cruz won it by 2 points. That's not a lot, and I get it. A lot of Republicans in Texas did not like Ted Cruz, but at the same time, Beto O'Rourke had a DUI. Do you think that that would have made him popular in Texas? No way. And also, look at the governor's race in Texas. Greg Abbott, a mildly popular incumbent, defeated Lupe Valdez. She had no chance in Texas. No chance. And he defeated her by 13 points. Lupe Valdez was a terrible candidate. So I think that with a mix between the two, if you have a decently good candidate like Hillary Clinton, Republicans win it by like 8 or 7 points in this modern environment, which is why I would make Texas a likely state for the GOP. The rest of the red wall, I would all make strongly Republican, as well as a lot of these Mountain West states. Alaska I would include just because it's mountain-clad and it is in the far west and very Republican. However, the Nebraska 2nd Congressional District, I would just make lean Republican. I think that Omaha definitely has taken a turn towards the GOP. However, I do think that it would only lean Republican. New Mexico is a safe Democratic state. I mean, Tom Udall won it by 15 points in the Republican wave year of 2014, and that is an excellent sign for Democrats in this state. Colorado, I would also make a likely state for the Republican Party. I mean, if you look at the House election results, Aurora, Colorado, this area used to be the Republicans' base. They had to win here. And then the Democrats won an Aurora-based district by over 10 percentage points, like 12 points. That is amazing for them. I think that, and also the gubernatorial election, look at that. Democrats won Arapahoe County by over 20 percentage points, or like 18, and also won by very comfortable margins in Jefferson County. These two counties both went for Bush in 2004 and were crucial for his victory. And now that these are obviously part of the Democratic base, I really do not see how the Republicans have any chance at winning in Colorado. I think that Colorado is a strongly Republican state. I mean, Democratic state, not Republican, at this point in time. And Montana, I think that Montana, like Texas, is now just a likely Republican state. Because if you look at this shows the states that are projected to gain or lose a seat in Congress. And Montana is expected to gain one. Wow, who knew that Montana was going to gain population? I would have imagined that it would be Utah or Nevada or Washington or another place like that. But nope, it's Montana. And it really does correlate with how Montana, well, the rest of the states were going Republican. Montana went Democrat. I mean, John freaking Tester. People say that this is a red state, but he voted against Kavanaugh. And boom, that made Heidi Heitkamp lose. Boom, it made Claire McCaskill lose. Boom, it made Mike Braun win against Joe Donnelly. But no, John Tester won by 4 percentage points when the polls projected that he would win by 1 point. And for that reason, I think that Montana would now be a likely state. I think that Montana was a bipartisan state during the Clinton years, and it is moving back towards being that status, except with a different voting base making it happen. And now I do think that Nevada and Arizona would both be toss-up states. Nevada would stay a toss-up, and Arizona would graduate towards being a toss-up state. I think that with what we saw with the Senate election, Kyrsten Sinema won because she was a good fit for Arizona. And how do we know that more Democrats won't run? That will also be a good fit for Arizona. I think that in reality you have to vote strategically if you want to win an election, and I do think that the Dems would do that. And Nevada, Jackie Rosen won it by 5 points. I do think that you could justify Nevada being a lean Democrat state, but at the same time, Nevada can have its partisanship shift depending on what's happening, which is why I will give the GOP the benefit of the doubt and make Nevada a toss-up state. The West Coast, that is all very safe for the Democrats at this point in time. I don't see how they could not lose here. Hawaii, extremely Democratic. I don't know if there's an area more Democratic than Hawaii besides the District of Columbia. Thank you all for watching this video. Please comment down suggestions below, and I will see you all later.